Stuff is not on the computer, like the intro and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just... Where are the bookmarks in this thing? I did not know Chrome, and that's why. Ah, what about this? Sure.
There.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, they appear in the Facebook Live?
Yeah, you got an appearance in there.
Hi, this is Dan. I'm the host of Serious Music, and you're listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you could stream the show completely from the station website at radiolex.us to listen to us from anywhere in the entire world. I am broadcasting from the Deborah Hensley Studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. It is July the 10th, 2025, 4:01 to be exact, ladies and gentlemen. I know that I am not the only one that thinks about dying. I know that there are people out there that are like me. They think about death. And I don't think it's really morbid to think about death, because it is an inevitable thing. It's something that is going to happen to all of us. And we always like to assume that we're just going to live 100 years. We do, because we call turning 50 over the hill. It's like you're halfway through your life. But if you really think about it, the average age of life is 80 years old. So when you hit the 40-year-old mark, that's truly the over the hill mark. That's seriously, according to statistics, the halfway point in your life. And a lot of people just assume and take for granted that they're going to live 100 years. But the older you get and you realize that people die at 20, 30, 40, 50, even from old age at 75 to 80, it really wakes you up. You realize that you are already almost to the halfway point, or you have reached the halfway point. And that's not necessarily a bad thing to realize that. If anything, it's almost a good thing to realize that, because you now are aware of how fragile life is, and it can make you appreciate it more. And it made me start thinking of other things that you don't realize until you get older. And folks, a lot of things come with age. And one of the things that I love that comes with age, and I'm not talking about wrinkles or gray hair, I'm talking about wisdom. Nothing with age comes like wisdom. Age is something that without it, you have no wisdom. The older you get, the more you experience. Therefore, the more wisdom you obtain. And you understand a lot of things. You find out a lot of soul-crushing realizations that you don't truly understand until you are older. And getting older and realizing you're to the halfway point is one of those things. And I have listed out a few things that I feel like are so crushing realizations that people don't truly understand until they get older. So you might not understand this yet, but the older you get, you will understand. For instance, you'll understand when you get older that your dream job that you had might end up sucking. Not everything is like it is on TV and in the movies. We see lawyers having these big hotshot jobs, doing all of these profile cases, only to realize that when you grow up and become a lawyer, 90% of your time is spent behind a desk doing paperwork. It's not in the courtroom doing trials and doing all kinds of prolific cases. You don't realize that until you grow up and start working. You realize as you get older that you have to speak up for yourself because nobody else will. You realize that you're not invincible when you get older, so stop driving like an idiot and stay out of unnecessary physical altercations because life is fragile. It just takes one stupid mistake to kill yourself. You learn that relationships or jobs aren't like the movies, like I said. It's important to deal with trauma early in your life is another thing, or it will take a toll on you. The sooner you deal with your trauma, however that is, that may be even talking just to a friend about it, is better than just keeping it bottled in. And you don't realize that until you're older, because if you haven't dealt with your trauma and you're already at an old age, you'll notice that you still feel like you're in chains. You learn when you get older that sometimes your best isn't good enough. People tell you all the time, try your best. That's all you can do. That's good enough. No. You realize when you're older that you can try your best and it still isn't good enough. You still don't get what you want. There's still failure. There's still disappointment. Life is about lessons, and you'll learn a few. Little simple things. Unprotected sex is risky. That's one thing. Drunk tattoos are not ideal. You'll end up regretting them. You also learn little things like you can't eat every little thing that you want. You can't eat like you used to when you were 8 years old. If you have a gut feeling about a particular person or situation, follow your instincts. That's another thing. Another thing is leave a paper trail. Leave a paper trail. If you ever get caught in a situation to where you have to prove something happened, you can't do that without a paper trail. If you're at work and you're having issues with a coworker or your boss, make sure that all of that is documented on email so you can always have tangible physical proof to help your case if you ever need to. Another thing you'll learn as you get older is not to do business with family. Yes, family are the people that we're supposed to trust and love the most, but sometimes when you get into business with them, you have to take on a different relationship with them, and it could affect the family portion of that relationship, and it could just affect it. You also learn that you can love someone and still know they're not right for you. So what I mean by that is it's okay to love people, but just because you love them, that doesn't mean you have to stay with them. You can love them from a distance. There are a lot of people, not even intimately, I'm talking friendship-wise, that I love. I love certain people, but I love them from afar because they're not good for me. They're not good in my life. That doesn't mean I dislike them. That doesn't mean I wish them evil. That doesn't mean that I wish them unwell. It's just I love them from afar because they're just not right for me. And I feel like that's pretty much a good enough reason. Another thing you'll learn as you get older is not to lie to your significant other, whether that be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. It's easy, or it's hard to have those hard conversations, but it's going to be easier as you do them over time. You can't keep things bottled in from your spouse, from your intimate lover. Do the stuff that makes you happy instead of doing the stuff that makes you look cool. That's another thing. There's a lot of things that I do, folks, whether that's dance in my car, watch certain TV shows, listen to certain music that I do that I find enjoyment in, that people will look at and find weird, find strange, find delusional. But you know what? It makes me happy. I am the one that has to wake up and do my job. listen to the music that I want to listen. I have to live my life. So, and the same goes for you. You have to live it. So if you are not living it for yourself and you're living it for everybody else, that's a miserable existence. You only get one life in this world. So use it and do the things that you want to do to make yourself happy. And those folks are some things that you might not realize until you get older, but when you realize them, it just makes for a happier life. But folks, we have a great show ahead of you today. You are listening to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
This is Jeremy and Markle from the Wandering Bach Pretzel Pub, located in Gray Line Station on the corner of Loudon and Lime. You are listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people, WLXU 93.9 LPFM Lexington.
Radio Lex only exists in our community because of the generosity of supporting members like Pam Miller. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to the voice of the people. To learn how you can become a supporting member, visit radiolex.us/donate. This winter, protect everyone in your family by getting your annual COVID and flu vaccine shots. Learn more at lfchd.org.
Radio Lex is proud to have the support of founding community partner and State Farm agent Deborah Hensley. Deborah believes in giving every member of our community a chance to let their voice be heard, to unify and strengthen our city. To learn more, you can visit deborahhensley.com or call 859-276-3244.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Folks, what you hear in the background is an old TV show sitcom theme from the TV show Welcome Back, Kotter. This song was sang by Lovin' Spoonful frontman John Sebastian. He wrote and recorded the Welcome Back, Kotter theme. And the interesting thing about this theme song is that not only was this attached to a very iconic TV show back in the day, but this show, this song, this TV sitcom theme went mainstream. And when I say mainstream, it went beyond just the realms of television. It hit the Billboard music charts. That means it was a part of the music culture. These songs were added to people's playlists. These were considered bangers to certain people back in the day. Not just TV show sitcoms. And folks, we've talked about TV show sitcom themes. We've talked about some of the greatest of all time. But what about the TV show theme songs that exist out there that went mainstream, that went beyond just the realms of television and went mainstream and hit the Billboard charts? This is one of them. Welcome Back by frontman John Sebastian. But folks, I have created a list here of some of the best TV show theme songs that went mainstream. And we'll start with Welcome Back, Kotter. But folks, there are so many, like the ballad of Jed Clapton from the Beverly Hillbillies. This spent 3 weeks at #1 on the country charts. And this was not just a great song, but it was the TV sitcom theme for the Beverly Hillbillies. I love TV show sitcom themes that tell a story, like the Beverly Hillbillies, like Gilligan's Island, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I love those songs because they tell a story. They kind of set up what the sitcom is about to be about. It tells the premise of what the show is, and I love that. But 3 weeks at #1, this song spent on the country Billboard charts. So it definitely went above and beyond the realms of television. Folks, we also have the iconic Happy Days theme song that didn't just stay with the TV show. This song went viral, and this song went mainstream and hit the Billboard Hot 100 and peaked at number one. Number one, that's right. This song is a number one hit. The song originally replaced the Rock Around the Clock. That used to be the theme song for Happy Days, but they created this new song. This guy named Pratt and McLean. So I guess it was two gentlemen. They wrote a original song for Happy Days. And people loved this song so much that they had to have it on their playlist. They had to listen to it on the radio. And obviously people listened because it went so far on the Billboard charts. Making Our Dreams Come True comes from the Laverne and Shirley TV show. This was a TV sitcom theme that went viral. It went mainstream. It hit number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. I never did watch the Laverne and Shirley show, but I do recognize the theme. You also had this song, Making It, from the TV show Saturday Night Fever. This was their theme song, but it also went viral and mainstream, and it peaked at number 5 on the top 40 for 16 weeks. It was the 14th most popular song in 1979. This song is called Making It. So, Making It was not only the name of the song, but the name of the sitcom. Like I said, it was a ripoff of Saturday Night Fever. I didn't watch this show. It was before my time. But I've heard of this song before. Now this next song, folks, is probably my absolute favorite. This is WKRP in Cincinnati. There was a longer version of this theme song that was released to the Billboard Hot 100, and it peaked at 65 on the Billboard charts in 1981, and it made it to number 29 on the adult contemporary charts. I love this song. If I could broadcast from Cincinnati, I would be a happy man. I love that city. So I loved, and I have watched reruns of WKRP in Cincinnati because I seriously could have been on this show. Because they lived the life that I wanted to live. A life on the radio in one of the greatest cities in the world, WKRP. So it's definitely an amazing song, and America loved it. So it went beyond the realms of television. It just wasn't the theme song to WKRP. It became an actual song. And that's what we're talking about here, folks, is TV show sitcom theme songs that went mainstream. Now, everybody will recognize this one. This is from Cheers. This hit number 83 on the Billboard Hot 100, despite TV Guide naming it the best TV show sitcom theme of all time. I love it. Cheers lasted forever, too. I think that sitcom lasted for like 12 seasons, which was unheard of for a sitcom to go that long. But people loved Cheers. This is where Frasier was born. If you don't know where Frasier come from, Frasier used to be a character on Cheers. So yes, if you've ever heard this song on the radio and you thought, that sounds like the theme song from Cheers, it is. Because it was so good and so beloved by TV viewers, it went mainstream and was released in the music world. This song was created and performed by Gary Portnoy. Now, next up on the list, folks, is from Growing Pains. This TV sitcom theme song is called As Long As We Got Each Other. This song went all the way up to number 7 on the Hot 100 Billboard charts. Number 7. And it's a great one. Growing Pains was one of those TV shows that I wanted to watch just to hear the theme song. I loved the theme song of this TV sitcom, and after the sitcom intro was over, I was done with the show. I didn't want to watch it. But this song was a banger. And it's just a soothing song. It's about family, and it just makes for a great song. Now, this next one, folks, is called I'll Be There For You, Clap, 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 Clap. That's the Rembrandts. And they sang this TV sitcom for Friends. And because Friends was such a sensation and such a phenomenon, anything that Friends put out became mainstream. And that includes their TV sitcom theme song, I'll Be There For You, which might be one of the most recognizable TV sitcom theme songs of all time. Can you listen to this song and not think of the TV show? No! Most people don't know the rest of the theme song after the first part of it because they only use the first part of the song for the theme song, but this is the full theme song released. And this hit, it says here that it was at the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100 airplay charts for 8 weeks in a row, folks. Now, this next one is called Boss of Me, and this is the TV sitcom theme song from Malcolm in the Middle. They wrote this song specifically for Malcolm in the Middle, but people loved it so much, it went beyond the realms of television and hit the top 50 on Billboard's alternative pop charts. You can't leave Disney out if you're doing a list because there are a lot of Disney show theme songs that went mainstream, and this is one of them. This is called Best of Both Worlds by Hannah Montana, also known as Miley Cyrus. This peaked at number 92 on the Hot Billboard charts. This Hannah Montana theme is still considered one of Miley Cyrus's signature songs. She still sings this song when she's on tour. Even though she's dropped the Hannah Montana gimmick and she's not done it for years, she still sings this song to the public. She knows how much people love it. She knows how much people appreciate it. So she's going to make sure that she satisfies what her fans want. So she's going to give them a performance of this TV show sitcom. Because, folks, it went beyond the realms of television and went mainstream. And then finally, the last one here is another Disney show theme song. This is called Leave It All to Me. And this was from iCarly. This was the theme song for iCarly. Man, Jack Black must have been proud of his School of Rock prodigy, Miranda Crosscove, who played iCarly, when she hit the Hot 100. Barely. This iCarly theme song topped out at number 100, so it only goes up to 100. It made the list at 100, but it still counts. And folks, there are more TV show sitcom theme songs out there that went mainstream, like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and others. But we don't have time to go over every one of them, so I compiled a list of what I felt like was the best. Songs that I feel like deserved to be on the Hot 100 Billboard charts. And they all were. The Beverly Hillbillies, Happy Days, Friends, Growing Pains. Good times. Good times. And I thought, I just love TV. I love TV sitcoms. And I love the TV sitcom theme songs. And there's so much you can do with those things. And it was just another reason for me to have another topic with you guys over it. All kinds of bangers right there. All right, folks, I hope that you enjoyed that. But stick with us. We still have lots more off the cuff of that and banks coming your way after these words.
You're listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people. WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Radio Lex is proud to have the support of founding community partner and State Farm agent Deborah Hensley. Deborah believes in giving every member of our community a chance to let their voice be heard to unify and strengthen our city. To learn more, you can visit DeborahHensley.com or call 859-276-3244.
Hey, this is Dale Morgan, host of Conversations Around the Table. Have a seat at the table with us every Thursday night at 6 p.m. as we get comfortable, sip on some coffee, and converse about our world and our community. That's every Thursday night at 6 p.m. right here on Radio Lex, 93.9 LPFM, the voice of the people.
At Radio Lex, we want to keep our community safe.
Are you protected from discrimination in public accommodations like shops and restaurants?
Per the Lexington Human Rights Commission, a Lexington local ordinance protects individuals against discrimination in public accommodations.
It is unlawful practice to deny an individual the full and equal enjoyment of goods, services, facilities, privileges, advantages, and accommodations on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, and gender identity.
Radio Lex is committed to providing trustworthy information to our community. For more information, visit radiolex.us or lexhumanrights.org.
Radio Lex only exists in our community because of the generosity of supporting members like Kia Arnold. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to the voice of the people. To learn how you can become a supporting member, visit radiolex.us/donate.
Off the cuff, Adam Banks here with you. It is unbelievable that I have went this long without discussing the P. Diddy trial. And there was a reason behind that. Partly because I wanted all the facts to come out before I talked about it. I wanted a verdict before I talked about it so I could talk about it in its entirety. And folks, we now have a verdict for the P. Diddy trial. But folks, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the raid heard around Hollywood. That's when Homeland Security raided Diddy's home back in March of 2024. That's when all of this first happened. They raided his home and they shut down his jet, his private jet. They searched his jet, and they took almost every piece of footage out of his house, everything from his house. They raided it, searched it, top to bottom. And this all started, and the reason he was raided is because his ex-girlfriend, after nearly a decade, Cassie Ventura, who is a rapper, she filed a bombshell civil lawsuit in November of 2023, accusing him of rape, physical abuse, coercive control, and forcing her into what she called freak-offs, which were wild videotaped orgies allegedly with strangers. And folks, as graphic as that sounds and disgusting as that is, that's exactly what happened. That's what P. Diddy was alleged of doing. So his ex-girlfriend filed these charges. It was enough for the police to believe her and raid his home. And then the accusations started to pile on. At least 5 other women came forward and claimed drug assaults, revenge porn, sex trafficking, all coerced from P. Diddy. One woman even alleged he blew up a car in retaliation to her. So, a lot of bad stuff that he was on trial for. He was arrested in May 2025, and the trial began just this past June of this year. So Diddy was accused of running a freak-off empire, his own twisted version of a Playboy meets blackmail type of thing. And he was nicknamed the hip-hop Epstein of someone's social media. Not the best thing to be compared to, but they called him the hip-hop Epstein. So there was a 7-week trial because of this, and it was a federal trial, and it took place in Lower Manhattan, and it ended on July the 2nd, so just a few weeks ago. And the jury got together and they deliberated on their decision of whether or not he was guilty or not guilty for only 13 hours. It's interesting, isn't it? A trial can last so long, 6, 7, 8 months, and it only takes a jury a half a day to come up with whether or not you are guilty or not. But here is the verdict of the P. Diddy trial, and it is a bombshell. He was acquitted of the Blockbuster charges, which was racketeering and sex trafficking linked to alleged forced freak-offs where exes claimed drug-fueled gangbangs. Now, listen, they said that he was not guilty for it because basically what the defense was able to prove was that it was all consensual. Yes, he organized it, he organized the event, but what the defense was able to prove in Diddy's case is that the people that participated in these freak-offs did it on their own accord. So that is why he was acquitted of those things. So, the big bombshell things that he could have went away for years and years and years, he was acquitted of. He was convicted, though, on 2 Mann Act counts, which was transporting Cassie Ventura and another woman named Jane across state lines for prostitution. So that leaves a possible conviction of 21 to 63 months. Some people say he could be put in there for up to 10 years. Now, what I have been researching is that Diddy is roughly looking at about 2 to 5 years in prison. Yes, that's a long time to go to prison, but to do what he did and to get off for what he allegedly had done, it's not a bad deal. 2 to 5 years is a lot better than life. So the jury was split. Prosecutors, they overreached, arguing the sex was forced enough to trigger trafficking and racketeering. But jurors, since most of them were women and they had stayed in long-term relationships, they just didn't really buy it. They just did not buy what the prosecution was selling. So on conviction day, the judge denied bail for Diddy, citing a documented history of domestic violence and risk to witness. Diddy won't be free until sentencing, which takes place on October the 3rd of this year. And like I said, he faces up to 10 years, but they're roughly looking at about 2 to 5 years for Diddy. They showed bruises and a banged-up Cassie on tape. They showed the video of him brutally beating her in a hallway of a hotel room. He'll be locked up through the fall. So there is some peace knowing that Diddy will still be in jail till the fall, and he will be in jail for a few years after, more likely. I will be very shocked if he spends no time in prison. I'm going to go with what the research says, roughly 2 to 3 years, 2 to 5 years. So that's probably what he's looking at. So we'll have to see on October 3rd of when that happens. So just to summarize everything, there was 5 charges against him, but he was found guilty on 2 of them. 3 acquittals, 2 convictions. So no bail for Diddy. He's got to stay in jail until October, until he gets his sentencing. And the sentencing, he's looking at 2 to 5 years. But it's not a complete home run for Diddy. But looking at what all he faced, I think that he's going to get out. Man, he did some crazy, crazy things. I was learning new stuff every day about some of the things he did. And listen, folks, Hollywood is a dangerous place. New York is a dangerous place. The entertainment industry is a dangerous place. There is so much temptation, so much that dangerous, so much evil things that you could fall into. And when you have somebody as powerful and as beloved and well-known as Diddy, it's easy to be manipulated into those situations because you think he is somebody powerful enough to help you. And P. Diddy is pretty powerful, and that's probably why he had so much power over these ladies, is because they knew he was able to help them with their career. Some things are not worth it. So Diddy is going to be looking at some jail time. I just wonder if he'll have much of a career when he gets out. We'll just have to see. But folks, this seems like a good place to take Off the Cuff's Song of the Week break. So how about a little classic rock with AC/DC's High Voltage? Enjoy the song. We'll be back. sure I haven't missed anybody's comments. Let's see. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. Absolutely, Diego. I agree with that completely. Short quote about failing. Oh, that must have been it. We already know that people love their dogs. There are a lot of dog people out there. There's a lot of pussycat people out there too. I'm not saying that just because you are not a dog lover, you're not an animal of lovers. There's all kinds of animal lovers out there. I just say there's a lot of dog lovers because, folks, there is. But what about cat lovers? I hate cats. Never was a fan. I get it. They can be sweet. But cats are one of those things that just, they're so unpredictable, and you don't know what they're going to do. They look at you with those piercing eyes, and if they attack you, they won't stop attacking you, and they're so quick, they'd be so hard to get away from if they ever attacked you. And I seen this one video of this one kid accidentally stepping on a cat's tail on accident, and the cat would not stop attacking him because he stepped on its tail. And it's not like you can't communicate with the cat and say, hey dude, it was an accident, I'm sorry. So there was nothing that this little boy could do but just get attacked by the cat. So that's why cats scare me a little bit, but not everybody is like me. There are a lot of cats out there. And I bring that up, folks, because today's national holiday is National, not Cat Day, but National Kitten Day. Who doesn't love a beautiful, pretty little kitten? That's before they become corrupt. It's kind of like loving babies and not grown adults. Kittens are so innocent and sweet, and they're too little to really attack. And those are things that I'm not afraid of. And those are the things that I can find cuddly. And a lot of people do. And today, if you have a kitten, celebrate and hold your kitten tight, because today's national holiday is National Kitten Day. 2 is the number of weeks until when kittens are blind and mostly deaf. 3 to 4 ounces is the weight of kittens at birth. 3 is the number of weeks it takes for kittens to learn to walk. 2 to 3 is the number of hours between a kitten's meals. 70 is the number of cat breeds in the world. 4 is the number of months after which a kitten is mature enough to reproduce. 18 is the number of hours a day a kitten sleeps. 18 hours, folks. Don't gloss over that. Most of the day is spent sleeping for a kitten. Maybe that's why I like them so much. 12 is the number of weeks after which kittens can leave their mother. Here are a few fun facts about kittens that every cat lover out there should know. Kittens are especially vulnerable to fleas and can develop diseases, so be mindful of that. They can't go to the bathroom on their own. Kittens start purring right after being born. As they grow, their eye color changes, and a kitten's whiskers are as long as its body's width. So if you're looking for a way to celebrate National Kitten Day, a couple of things you can do is adopt a kitten. If you can't adopt, you can always foster one. You can volunteer to help kittens at the ASPCA. We love National Kitten Day because kittens, just looking at kitten photos, they actually say is good for your mental health. So imagine what it would do for your mental health just to hold a kitten or play with a kitten. It has to be good. If they say that it's good for your mental health just to look at photos of kittens, imagine what you can do for your mental health by petting a kitten or holding a kitten. Don't you feel good when you hold a baby? I mean, seriously, think about it. When you hold a baby, you are holding the most precious, the most innocent thing that exists in a human body on earth. How do you not feel joy holding something that's precious and that innocent and that loving, that wants nothing from you, that can't even hold its head up without you holding its head? How can you not love that? That's why people feel so good when they hold babies, is because they are holding a piece of heaven. They're holding a piece of innocence, a piece of perfection. So there's got to be something behind petting kittens, holding kittens, as to why it's good for your mental health. And kittens are great for children too. Cats maybe not so much, but kittens are. They're just as little and helpless as they are, and children just seem to love them. So happy National Kitten Day out there to everyone. But folks, we've still got one more segment to go. Stick with us. We will be right back.
You're listening to Radio Lux, the voice of the people. WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
At Radio Lex, we want to keep our community safe. For CRCKY, these are some things you should do.
Complete a plan so that your family and friends know what to do if you are not there. Get an immigration checkup
with an attorney.
Educate yourself. Only a search warrant written by a court and signed by a judge gives ICE the right to enter your house and search your property.
The warrant must have the correct name of the person or property, the right address, and the search must be done during the time written on the warrant.
Be aware that an arrest warrant does not give ICE the right to enter or search your property. You can refuse to let in an officer who only has an arrest warrant.
If you entered the country more than 2 years ago, carry paperwork that proves it or have photos of them. If you have an I-94 form, which shows a departure date in the future, make sure you carry a copy of it in your wallet.
If you have an unexpired employment authorization card, make sure you have a copy of it in your wallet.
Radio Lex is committed to providing trustworthy information to our community. For more information, visit radiolex.us or crcky.org.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Last segment of the hour. Folks, today is July the 10th, 2025, and a lot of great things have happened on this day in history. On this day, July the 10th. For instance, on this day, July the 10th, 1890, Wyoming becomes the 44th state of the U.S., the first with female suffrage. So, folks, I always get fascinated when I hear about a new state added to the Union because it's been so long since we've had one added. The last state we had added to this Union was in the 1950s, which really don't seem too long ago, but that's when we admitted Hawaii as our 50th state. We've not had one since. We've almost made it 100 years without adding any states to this union. We've been at 50 since the 50s. So whenever we come across an anniversary date of when a state was added, I always find that fascinating. But it was on this day in the 1800s, 1890 to be exact, that Wyoming was the 44th state admitted. What would you say is going to be the next state, if any? Puerto Rico? Canada? Who knows? There's more. On this day in history, July the 10th, 1913, the world's official highest record temperature ever of 134 degrees occurs at Greenland Ranch in Death Valley, California. Very fitting for its name. Imagine reaching temperatures of 134. Yes, that is a hot day. We've had some hot ones here in Kentucky. We've had temperatures over 100. I've seen that out in Vegas sometimes during the summer it gets as hot as 110 to 15 degrees. But folks, imagine having a day outside where it is 134 degrees, period. That's a hot day. That's when you really learn how to appreciate water and air conditioner and a good roof over your head to keep the sun out of your face. And on this day in history, July the 10th, 1981, Walt Disney's Fox and the Hound was released. One of the saddest Disney movies ever, by the way. In 1985, Playboy and Penthouse published nude pictures of pop singer-songwriter Madonna. Yes, folks, this was when Madonna was just starting out in 1985. When you premiered in Playboy, that was something. And when you did it nude, it wasn't really considered distasteful. It wasn't really considered trashy. It was actually considered an honor to be featured nude, to be featured completely naked in a magazine. Think about that. Back in the day, it used to be considered a high honor just to pose nude in a magazine. So that's why people like Marilyn Monroe, Dolly Parton, people like Madonna pose nude in Playboy, because it was just a climb up the corporate ladder in the entertainment industry. On this day in history, 2005, Hurricane Dennis, remember him, he slammed into the Florida Panhandle, causing billions of dollars in damage. Folks, so much strange things happening with our weather. My heart and prayers go out to the people in New Mexico. That flood just reminded me of the flood that we had in eastern Kentucky back in 2022. That was one of the worst, horrific times for my hometown. So many friends and family members that I love were suffered and were affected by that horrible flood. So I know what those people are going through in New Mexico, and my prayers are with you guys. And then finally, on this day in history, July the 10th, 2015, the Confederate flag is taken down for the last time from South Carolina Capitol grounds, one day after the state legislature ordered its removal. So they demanded all Confederate flags to be taken down at government places. They are no longer allowed to be hanged, and it was on this day that the last Confederate flag in a government place was removed. And that, folks, is all of the great things that happened on this day in history. So much. But folks, that pretty much wraps up another episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. If you liked what you heard today, that means you'll probably like our previous episodes. We archive them all on podcast. We are on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, or wherever you stream your favorite podcast. Go ahead and give us a follow, give us a comment, and rank us. Give us a 5-star ranking. The more you rank us, the more we climb the Apple charts. So please do that. And also follow the show on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow me, the host, on social media at The Adam Banks. We release new episodes every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM, which means, folks, we will be back same time, same place. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the King of Radio, and this is Off the Cuff. I will catch you down the road. Thank you, guys.